Fresh Ninja coming at you with a how-to video, the very first video actually for my channel. So what we're going to do is we are going to, if your controller, if you've used it over time, eventually, like the sticks will start sticking, the buttons won't work they'll work, but I mean, all the buttons stick and you get frustrated with them. I get very frustrated with them often. So this will be a quick video on how to take the controller apart, clean up your buttons, mainly your sticks moving. They get sticky. Clean the sticks out, the buttons, your triggers, your bumpers, and D-pad, basically all the buttons. So let's get started. You will need a T8 security screwdriver. It's a special screwdriver for taking these apart. Make sure you look it up. It's just a normal Torx screwdriver with a hole punched into it and a Phillips screwdriver. There are 6 holes. Plus, behind your battery pack, there, I took the sticker off, but there's going to be a sticker right here. And I mean, you can take it off, or you can just kind of take your screwdriver and puncture a hole through the sticker and just take it off from there. Either way, it doesn't matter. So you can go ahead and start by taking the controller apart. And just a note, when you're done taking up your screws, make sure you keep them and you know where they are and don't lose them, because when I took one of these apart for the first time, I lost one and it took a while to get it back. So make sure you don't do that and keep them all together. And once you take it apart and take all the screws, you simply take the back off. Just like that. Simple. Alright. And make sure you keep the parts aside and know where they are. So now we have our circuit, and all you do is just tumblers, pull them out. They're just held by foam circles on the outside of them, and you just slide it right off. And you've got your front with rubber pads and your buttons. So here's your board, get your tumblers and your triggers right here. And so, I mean, if your controller has some difficulty pushing these triggers down, sometimes, for example, we can pull this off. This arm right here holds this on. These right here, these little the shaft right here that connects the arm. Sometimes these arms are they're a tad bit too long, so they will add some extra friction and they'll hit the back of the arm, this plastic arm I took off, and so the trigger has a hard time, it's kind of rough triggering up and down. But if you don't have that problem, you don't really need to do anything else from there. So you can go ahead and put that back on, simple, and they're working. So, but if you do need to clean those, just get some. When I clean, I just use some Lysol sanitizing wipes. Anything works really. And you just come around here. You can just kind of wipe around. You can really see that. Also, if you just want to add a little bit extra lubrication, you can keep this arm off here, and you can kind of take the Lysol wipes and wipe them on that shaft, so it adds a little bit of cleans them off. So if they're they might be sticking, so you might solve that problem. Just kind of wipe it off on both of them here. And yeah, so when you have those cleaned, turn it over. And these are the sticks, and all you do is just pull them off. They're simple, they're not screwed on or anything. You just pull off here and set this aside. And I don't know what causes it, but there's just white powder. It's sticky too. I don't know what it comes from, but that's what happens. That's what causes the stick to not move very well and get stuck. So all you have to do is take the wipes and go around a few times. You can clean inside too if you want, all over, but make sure it's very easy to clean. It doesn't take much. You go all the way around. And you got your sticks cleaned. So once you got your sticks, you go ahead. There's a little. It's not a complete circle. It's a little. There's two sides that are flat on the shaft and on here. So you just kind of twist it. You just kind of twist the stick around and find yourself, and you just push them in. But once you have the sticks pushed in, it's basically all you need. Clean after that on the circuit board, so you can push that aside. So after that, set it aside, and the last thing is the front part, and these rubber pads will need lighter, so you can they just come right off, and you have all your buttons. You get your D-pad, your guide, your start, back, and all your just your cutoff buttons, your AX, BY. And don't do what I just did. Just don't dump them out like that. Once you got them all out, go ahead and your bumpers original. I already got them out, but all you do, they're just like that. All you do is they just come right off. It's simple. So then you've got your light separator, light ring, and you've got your D-pad. And the D-pad, that's where your Phillips screwdriver comes in. There's two screws diagonal in there, and you just unscrew those. Now once you have those unscrewed, it's still kind of, they're sandwiched together, so just get one of your screwdrivers and kind of get under one of these tabs so you can pop it off right there. That one flung. Usually it doesn't do that, but there's some clips in here on this that hold it in, so it might be tough. Some controllers are tough to get off, some of them aren't, but it won't break, don't worry. So once we have those, go ahead and kind of separate your clean parts from your dirty parts so you don't miss anything. And make sure you keep your screws for your D-pad. Don't lose those. Alright, so get your Clorox wipes. Go ahead. There's a lot of, you'll usually find a lot of dust and crap inside your stick holes and your D-pad hole. Make sure you get those cleaned, and same for all your guide, basically everything you kind of reach. You really can't get inside of your AXB-Y buttons, but if you really wanted to, you could take one of your screwdrivers and you can kind of stick it in there and, you know, just get it through there on each of them and clean them out. But yep, get your this other one here cleaned out, and basically all you can also just kind of come around and clean all of here, since you've got these pieces this taken off already, and set that aside. We can also clean off our back piece here. This is the easiest part, just getting all this stuff cleaned up. Now that you got those cleaned, go ahead and kind of rub your pads a little bit. There's most time dust collects on the top. I wouldn't worry about the bottom, that's not a big deal. It's just the top of them that get a little dirty. So clean those off. Move those off to the side, and then take your triggers, clean that off too. Triggers in your sink are all together, so don't worry about taking those apart. Set that aside. Get your light separator. Clean that off. D-pad and all your ABXY buttons. Alright, once you have all your buttons cleaned off, if you really want to, I've got a rechargeable battery pack, so I really don't need to clean it, but if you got one of those, if you got the stock battery packs, just the clip-on ones with the, you know, not the rechargeable ones, you can just clean on the outside and kind of get on the inside to take some dust out if you really want to. But once you have that, you basically have everything all cleaned out, so it's just a matter of putting everything back together. So first thing is putting all your AXB-Y buttons back. You just kind of fall into place here. Your back and your start buttons. Grab your guide and your light separator and just kind of turn that until it just pops into place. Make sure it's on the top part. There's a slot on the guide, on the light separator, that gets it all in there. And then once you have those, grab your rubber piece. Just kind of press it in. There. Next is your D-pad. Go ahead and take your top of your D-pad, slide it right under, and then line the two holes up here in the clips. Just pop it in just like I did there. Just pop it into place. And then line them up. Just like that. Oh, kind of popped out of place there. Just kind of. There we go. Didn't push it on the way. There we go. Now we get our screws. Once you have the D-pad screwed in, go ahead and put your D-pad rubber pad on, and there's a little guide sticking up on the piece of plastic guide sticking up on the controller right here, and just match that up with the little ring on your rubber pad, and that's all set. Now take your triggers, make sure these tabs are up facing you, not down below, and they just pop right in there. Get your bottom piece, your microphone, I call it microphone piece, but you can call it whatever you want to. And just a few guides, and just sits right in place. Real simple. Now the last thing is take your, make sure you got it right, make sure the sticks slide down, pop your tumblers in, kind of slide it around a bit so you can get on place there. Make sure all your buttons work. Syncs buttons all popped into place. There we go. And then once you have your circuit board in, simply take your back piece, make sure your battery pack contacts come in, they're not stuck under, and you simply just squeeze it together, make sure anything's not stuck in, make sure all the buttons work, and just screw it back in. Sometimes these screws are bare. And once you're all screwed in, just put your battery pack in, make sure all your buttons work. Mine are nice, they don't stick anymore. D-pad, nice, good. Turn it on, look at that, it works. All the buttons are good. Well, thanks for watching. Soon I will be getting a shell kit for one of my controllers, and I will be posting a video on that soon. So thanks for watching, and subscribe.